Yo, 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 it's 8 o'clock in the night. Well, 8 o'clock where I am, but it could be 9 o'clock where you are, or 10 o'clock where you are. But you get the point. It's 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time at night. What do you know where your stocks are? And if you don't, you're at the right spot in the market, on YouTube, on the interweb spaces, to talk about the stock market. I was just drinking a glass of water, so I almost choked on it. Oh my God. I'm choking on water right now. Jesus, I need help. But how's everyone doing? Hopefully everyone had a wonderful day on the market there. I myself had a wonderful day. I traded my playbook, stuck to my rules, stuck to my trading plan. A couple trades here and there. You know, I didn't really stick to my trading plan too well, and I lost money on those. But overall, nice little green day to bag on the month over here. Good to build the confidence too, and loves being able to trade the playbook that we were building a couple of days ago, seeing it already working for us. Not that we haven't been trading the playbook, but building it, actually putting it to pen and paper, and then looking out for those opportunities more. I even built out one of my scanners today to help me find trades around my playbook. So thanks to Trade Ideas over there. We'll show you Trade Ideas later on in the day if you're interested in that one. But yeah, let me know how your day went. I'm so excited. Ooh, the water is now burping out. Let me know how your day went, ladies and gentlemen. If you had a nice little green day, red day, sadly, or you know, if you just didn't trade today, it was a flat day and you didn't have any opportunities that you found to smash for yourself. If that's the case, then hopefully we'll able to find you some opportunities to trade tomorrow, and that's what you're here for. A couple people in the chat already. I see Cody, TH, Momo's in the chat. Ayo, and Enrique. Fight Matter. All of you in the chat already love seeing it. What's up, man? Been following you since Trader TV Live. Yo, what's up, brother? I appreciate it. Thank you for showing up. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe already, and if this is your first time here, Fights Matter, yeah, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Would mean the world to me. We go live every single day. Well, Monday to Thursday, not every single day. Monday to Thursday, 8 o'clock at night. Get you everything ready for the next day. We prepare you for the markets, all the earnings movers, and also talk about my trades on the day. See how we could have possibly improved on them, and not repeat the same mistakes again and again. Hopefully, learning from my mistakes, and then hopefully you get to find some trade ideas off of our trade planning. Today's stream, however, I planned it to be a little bit different. We're going to be reacting to one of SMB Capital's video at the end of the stream, after we talk about my trades on the day, and then after we talk about or plan for all the trades for tomorrow. We'll save a little bit at the end of the day today to really look for you know, what this new SMB Capital video is talking about. To be specific, the video is talking about the 6 rules that this one trader helped build around himself to help him not take as many losses out there, and especially in his first year of trading. So I'm interested to see how that video can help us. Maybe we find some areas, some new techniques, some new ways to improve our trading overall. So I would love for you guys to stick around, stay tuned while we react and learn from that video together. But as we always do in this stream, we start off with all the trades that I started off on the day today. So I'm pulling up my trades. Bang, bang, bang. Why don't we start with... Do we start with our first trade of the day? I'm going to be honest, I don't remember my first trade on the day. Maybe it was Palantir. It was probably JD and Palantir, my first few trades on the day, and then later on in the day I was able to catch some beautiful longs in Roku on UPST, which we'll talk about very, very soon for you guys. But for where is it? For DraftKings. Actually, let's start off with our biggest losers on the day, and then we'll go to our biggest winners on the day. Starting off with our biggest loser on the day, it's going to be SE. One of our most recent earnings plays, the stock dumped off the earnings move big time to the south side after announcing earnings. I think on earnings day itself, it sold off quite a bit. I think that was yesterday actually. We were able to short it around 41, had a nice little ride all the way down to 35. We weren't able to capitalize on that. So this stock popping back up on today's move on day two of being SSR, day two of earnings play, was waiting to see how the stock would behave, at any point that it would maybe walk into a little bit of resistance. So I tried a couple shorts here, tried a couple shorts later on, lost on both those shots, and I just stopped trying it. If this short was gonna work, this was gonna be the one that was gonna take it to VWAP and much lower to the downside. But clearly enough strength in the stock at that moment to take it a little bit higher, all the way almost to 40 bucks. 40 bucks really not coming into play, and then later on giving you that short opportunity. I was just on the wrong side of the V, I guess. I was on the wrong side of the V, and I paid the price for it on SE as later on the move came in. But as you see, it still held VWAP. At the end of the day, still held today's VWAP and closed, I guess, a little bit higher than today's VWAP. Was up around 7% when I took the screenshot. Not sure what it ended at. So it looks like the short idea was just a little too rushed. Also, the long was the right direction throughout the day, right? The stock just wanted to keep on rising up and up and up. Maybe a lot of short covers, maybe a new longs entering on this position, even though the PE that we checked last night was like 90 something. Did not matter. The stock just brought in tons of buying for itself. So SE, our number one loser on the day. We tried it for the short side a couple times. The next stock on the day we have over here is going to be Roblox. I think Roblox was actually profitable slash we turned it negative later on in the day. It was a long on the break of this 40 area. Not that 40 was a big level on the daily, but it's a nice even dollar level. It's also pre-market high area. The stock actually flushed to the downside, held a couple levels to the downside over here, ran up to the north side, and just consolidated slightly under 40. So I figured if there was any sort of catalyst in the stock to really get long, this looks like a good setup to take that 40 breakout, and it was good. It gave you 20 cents of moves to the north side. I even tried to add to the longs later on. I can see the stock is really struggling, so I'm taking some size off on this position, and I throw my stop out at the break of this level to the downside. I think it was near 39.90. I have a stop out. I get stopped out later on. I get back in right on the hold of VWAP, able to make some of that money back, and then I try the long again at VWAP later on, which ends up being the wrong move over here, which give back whatever money I basically made on Roblox on the day and turned it to a little bit of a negative stock. Roblox, however, later on brought in some random catalyst, which I wasn't watching it at that point. Big move to the north side on Roblox, pretty much going all the way exactly into the earnings high. So earnings high coming back into play on Roblox off of this move, but it looks like not too much of substance because it sold right off, came right back into today's range and traded around today's VWAP for RBLX. If you guys remember yesterday in our report or in our game plan, we already have put down that nothing to do here on Roblox, but we still managed to do something on Roblox today and we paid the price for it. So when you do have a plan, it's best to just trade your plan and stick to the game plan. Chrome is crashing, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully the stream is still running over here. Chrome just crashed. Hopefully the stream's still good. I think the stream's still good. Okay, good. It was just Chrome that crashed, nothing else. But yeah, you guys see what happened with Roblox on the day for me. Not too much of damage though, and it still doesn't matter that we had that one as a loss because we were able to catch some good wins later on in the day. And here start off the winners on the day for us. Number one winner on the day, not the best winner on the day, but one of the winners on the day. JD came out with earnings report. 28 was a good level on JDE. If you pull up JD, you'll see that previously in the past JD had supported 28 area and traded above 28. Later on eventually got under 28, but then getting back above above 28 on the earnings report over here. Was looking to see if the stock would hold 28 or sell off under 28, and looked like it started flushing. So on a pop up, I was looking to get short, and I gave it a pretty decent amount of risk over there on the short. Eventually lost on that short, and the stock ran up, came back down to close enough to 28, and gave you a higher low. So based on the higher low, got short with the tight stop right around over here, and then on the move up near 2R, I took some profits. But then watching how the stock is struggling around VWAP, so I take my position off. Did not expect a bigger move into higher day, and looks like even if it did pop into higher day, it just struggled. And then later on in the day, after the stock came to VWAP, held VWAP twice, thought that there would be a good long opportunity over here for a move into higher day. Tried the long for a move into higher day, was able to catch a little bit of that move, but it looks like the stock just had no juice. I should have kind of expected that after the stock clearly showed you rejection at the higher day multiple times. Usually if there was a bounce above to higher day, this VWAP hold right here should have taken it to higher day. It should not have come back to VWAP and traded around VWAP for the rest of the day, and I should have recognized that and stayed away from the long side over here on JD, but still able to catch a quick little long, able to pad our PNL on the day, help us out on the win side. Ignored the Palantir chart over here, but we tried Palantir on the long side today. Palantir dipping into the 1950 area, holding the 1950 zone. Later on, we do try to hold the stock for a bigger move into 2020 area, which was a big level in historical daily charts. If you pull it up on a longer time frame, the stock hasn't been here for a long time, and now pulling back into this area, holding these prices. Thought that there could be a good long for me to play off on Palantir, but didn't really work the way I wanted it to. You know, it was very choppy, wasn't acting the way I wanted to see, and then I jumped out of this position, and right after I jump out, you get that actual move that I was looking for. But I guess I wasn't wrong about my theory, because Palantir at the end of the day came right back and traded under VWAP and chopped around quite a bit. And if I had stuck up with my long thesis, I would have gone chopped up with the stock and probably gave up all my money on the day, and it would have been pretty sad. So I'm happy that I walked away from Palantir, and these were all my executions. Even though a lot of the chart over here is missing, ignore it. These were all my executions on the day for Palantir. The next stock on the day for us is going to be a couple quick little scalps on Uber short. We were looking to see if Uber would help us out on the short side by rejecting this 54 area, flushing back to the downside. So after the opening swing down, pulling back to the day's VWAP and getting above today's VWAP slightly, but then not really giving you a new day's high, not getting back up to 54. So getting short here, giving the risk up to day's high, and having a move to the downside. But right before the day's low, the stock is giving you some resistance. It's not giving you a lower low, so I'm able to get out on that move. Then I have a blind order into 54 area to see if the stock would give me some orders to get short, to pick up some quick shorts on there. And now I'm trying to manage my position, see what's happening, seeing a lot of buying coming in front of VWAP. So nope, I'm out, deuces. I don't want to hold this trade. Higher low already, and we got a higher high coming in from where I got filled on the short. So none of this makes sense. The pattern on this position just does not look for the short side. If this was the short, this should have gone much lower over here and then maybe come into VWAP and give me the short at VWAP. That short fill over there should not have played out to begin with. So the pattern over here does not look good. So stayed away from pushing my short thesis, kept my scalps nice and tight, and made my profits on Uber. Quick little profits on the day for me. Quick little profits also on the next stock on the day for us, DraftKings. Later on in the day, after the markets have sold off and looks like retraced quite a bit of the move, look to see what the DraftKings would do around one of my levels on the daily chart. DraftKings pulled up and held up on those levels. It was actually also called out by my manager. Now that I'm thinking out loud, I don't think I had the stock mapped out to my dinner is coming up. I don't think I had the stock mapped up to trade at this level previously, so it's not like I said an alert or anything. My manager said, "Hey, Prad, DraftKings looks like a good long at this area if you're interested." So I pulled up DraftKings. I see that it's also around one of the levels that I have on my chart. So got into a nice little long over there. Had a quick exit at a 2R profit, and the second profit just didn't really have too much size, so I said, screw it, I'll just take my profit and I'll run away from it. Missed a nice little move to a bigger move to VWAP when the markets were retracing. So I need to be a way better with my profit taking. As you guys know, I'm still trying to improve on that side of my game plan. Right now we're trying to improve on one thing and one thing only for the game plan, one step at a time, obviously, which is improving our entries. We don't want to be taking blindly entering random spots. You see how our entries are much more calculated now. Now we have a defined stop. Before, our entries would have been on the low side over here, getting stopped out and then getting back in. But now we are waiting for the right side of the action to get back in, a defined stop, right side of the V basically over here, where the stock is giving you a beautiful move right back into VWAP, giving you a great risk reward scalp. You're in about 36.25, the low a day, let's say 36.10. Maybe you even give it up to $36, so you have 25 cents of risk, and you get about not a dollar, but about 80 cents a reward. So good, beautiful risk reward. Anytime you get this type of risk reward on the day, you can really scale up on these trades, have that tight risk, and if it fails, it fails. Clearly the stock was weak, the market was weak, and it was going to go lower. 7 times out of 10 you win, and the 7 times that you win and you get a 2R 3R scalp on it, it pays for those 3 times you lose and some. You make way more money at the end of the day over there. So DraftKings ended up helping us on the day. But here comes our number 1, number 2, number 3 trades on the day for us, which is Upstart and Roku. So Upstart, day 2 continuation. Yesterday was a big move on Upstart to the north side. This is basically a way to jot your notes, or I think it's called trade. What does he call it? Trade write-ups template. So this is the trade write-up template from Lance on SMB Capital side. He posts great content over there. So I've started to make notes for trades that I want to look out for more, especially the ones that are in my playbook, in your playbook over there. As you guys can see, I just highlighted for you. So these 2 stocks were in my playbook, but the first one was the one that I actually spotted myself. The Roku trade. Yesterday we had a big move to the north side on Roku. Right here, as you guys can see, a big move to the north side on Roku on the 830 number. Then Roku held a significant level on the daily chart near 87.30. Today on Roku, wanted to see how it would play out on a possible swing into the downside. Hold these consolidation areas and give you a long. So on that swing into the downside, holding that consolidation area on Roku, was able to look for a long after the stock held yesterday's VWAP, came back into today's VWAP, held today's VWAP. So now I'm getting long in front of $88, right in front of $88 over here, getting long with the risk somewhere around low a day. So let's say around 50 cents. Well, not really risk low a day. My risk like somewhere down here, to be honest. So not really risking all the way till the low a day. My risk is still here, even though my manager would say it would be stupid to not have your stop over here. That's not what the playbook and the textbook talks about. Let's trade write-ups. Let's go to Anchor VWAP playbook. The Anchor VWAP playbook talks about getting your entry over here and having your stop. I guess I didn't put that part in my notes, but having your stop pretty much at the high of the last relevant candle. So the last relevant candle high would be somewhere over here, but you could also give it till the low a day, high a day, and then trail your stop later on as the stock is working for you. So got long at 2R, quickly out, and then randomly at a different spot whenever I felt like enough was enough for the stock. Don't know why I felt enough was enough, just felt like enough was enough. I wanted my money. I'm gonna take my money and run with it. And I took my profits over here on Roku. A couple things that I should have possibly done better is I need to look at what is the stock's ATR. Is the stock even done a day's ATR? And at that moment in the day, it's not done its ATR. Overall, once you take a look at today's range, you see that the high a day and the low a day today was exactly near perfect 1 day's ATR, average true range, on Roku. So not being able to recognize these type of variables on a great stock that was extremely strong, that was played out in our playbook, taking a profit so close to today's VWAP at not even at high of pre-market was ridiculous. And then taking a second exit so much quicker, and not really looking at other factors to take profits other than simply being, emotional and be like, hey, I just want to take profits. I just want to my money, and taking my money doesn't make any sense. So need to have better exit strategy. But as we were talking about not too long ago, is we're working on our entries, we're working on our playbook at the moment, working on our strategies and so on, so we can fix exit easily later on. That's not a problem that we need to be worrying about right now. We need to be worrying about not entering the bad trades and entering the better trades with more size. Then eventually we will be able to fix our exit strategy not by itself. But the only way we will be able to fix not entering the bad trades is if we are able to catalog the good trades from the bad trades, and then I identify the good trades when they show up, and hammer those good trades with more size. And then that way we don't have the same sizing across the board on the good trades and the bad trades, and then when they lose, they basically eat away from our P&L. So Roku helping with us on the good trade of the day, day 2 continuation trigger, basically in our playbook, ladies and gentlemen, in our playbook. Roku. Another one is Upstart. This one was actually called out to me by my manager. So another trade like DraftKings on the day, was not really looking at this position, but Upstart had, like all positions yesterday, had a monster move up, and it actually popped into a range of area that we were interested on Upstart based on what the stock could do on earnings day. But it didn't really push into this range on earnings day. It managed to push into this range today, and off the open move, you can see how the stock flushes in, holds yesterday's VWAP, then pops back into this range low near $25, holds to $25 area, holds today's VWAP, and then continues to rise up to the north side again and again and again. So that was a beautiful call out by my manager. Not sure why he was even looking at the stock, but then after noticing that the stock, that hey, we have a level already mapped out on the stock. This is a solid level and a range of area that we are interested to see what the stock could possibly do. And as you can see, that's the whole opening range on that stock. Every single candle on this chart is 5 minutes actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I guess it's the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. The opening 30-minute range, the ORB 13, which is a setup. It's not, I'm not joking. The opening range 30-minute breakout is a setup. And that would have been the opening range 30-minute breakout. And eventually you see later on in the day where the stock does pull back, it kind of holds that opening range 30-minute breakout high area. So gives you a beautiful long opportunity on this technical catalyst. And noticing that call out from my manager, got long, was able to scalp some out in this area, held some for a bigger move right into the higher end of these ranges. Didn't really expect the stock to go too much higher, but it did manage to go higher enough, and shout out to that stock. But here's the trade from my manager, who actually called it out and traded it way better than me. Long down here, not even where I am. He's down over here in these bottom wick candles. I'm getting into these areas over here. He's getting in all the way down over here. I'm already out of this trade. My first exit is his first exit, and his last exit is pretty much all the way near a high day when the stock is already working for him. His exit strategy is much better. Everything about his trade is just much better than mine. But I'm just happy that I was able to understand the trade idea, understand the trade thesis, and able to join the party over there, able to add to my P&L on the day and have a monster day. 2 trades that were within my setup today, and those were basically my number 1 and number 2 stocks on the day. If there were any other trades that I took on the day, they were not from the playbook. I promise you they were not from the playbook, and they did not help us out too well. So I just need to get better at taking more playbook stocks. No need to just take random trades and random levels just because we're bored, or just because we got a little FOMO about how we missed out on this bigger trade money making opportunity by not actually managing our Roku position properly. Oh, just because I didn't manage my Roku and my Upstart properly, I'm gonna go do stupid shit on Roblox and Roblox, the stock that we didn't even plan to trade, and we're gonna go do stupid shit on there instead. So we gotta be a little bit more disciplined on that side. One day, chat. One day. We're still baby infancy in our trading career. Coming back to the chat over here. What do you have to say about Carvana? Carvana, I got puts. I mean, I can take a look at Carvana, but I don't think there's actually any reason to be trading Carvana at the reason. I think the volume has been dying down quite drastically, and it's been stuck in a range. Yeah, we can talk about Carvana for you, but I don't really think there's a reason to be trading it. I'll just quickly put it down in my notes over here. So once we start talking about it, once we start talking about stocks, we can go over that one for you. I traded a few my futures accounts well today, but I couldn't get past the bias that I had created from that. It prevented me from entering any scalps or day trades in my stock account. I mean, that's fine, but you gotta understand, what are you? Are you an analyst? Are you a fortune teller? Are you a day trader? And if you're a day trader, are you a scalper? And if you are a day trader and if you are a scalper, then why are you letting a bias come in your way? It's good to have a bias to kind of help you create a thesis and a theory of what the market might do. But then you also need to have a counter thesis just in case that doesn't happen and the market goes the other way. And then a counter thesis to that also, where if the market goes flat and doesn't go up or down, then what are you going to do? So if you're a day trader, if you believe you're a day trader, then you need to have all those catalysts prepared for yourself, for that stock, for the market, whatever it is, the instrument that you deserve or not deserve, you plan to be involved in, right? So I got a plan for that. But if you're an analyst in your mind, and you're a portfolio manager in your mind, you swing trades, then in that case, doesn't matter. You have a bias, it doesn't match up with your bias. You traded futures account instead, and it made money for you. Shout out to that. So a couple ideas over there on how to deal with having a bias, because I often find anytime I have a bias, it keeps me away from trading that stock, and that stock usually has a monster trading opportunities. For example, Roku on earnings day. My personal bias on Roku on earnings day kept me away from making the money on the long over there. But today, when the opportunity showed up, I didn't let that bias stop me. So much, in fact, so where my thumbnail is me holding this little Roku image that I made from using AI. So shout out to AI. Getting better at this thumbnail game, huh, chat? Getting better at this thumbnail game. Gamba will be used, especially with inflation and people's bills getting tight. Gambling increases in hard times. Really? Is that true? Shouldn't it decrease in hard times because people don't have as much money? But that's pretty crazy. DraftKings went higher than you thought it would. That's a good indication. It's stronger than you think it is. Let's go, baby. I have DraftKings in my long term, and we're gonna talk about DraftKings for a possible trade tomorrow. So we'll take a look at that. Waiting for that consolidation was stronger play for DraftKings, I guess. Link in the chat. What do you want the link in the chat for, Angry Buddha? Well, you were in enough profit to wait for at least one red candle to exit. Yeah, I mean, I can't complain about taking money in profits or taking money when making money. But gotta have a better plan. It's good to make money, but if you want to do this for a long run, you gotta always think about how can I do better? How can I make the best out of this? My exits were great, but it wasn't making the best out of it, right? I was emotional with taking profits, and I wasn't calculated with taking profits. So I need to be better with that. When you trust your gut more than indicators, you'll have a clear and a big hurdle to become a successful trader. Yeah, there you go. Trust my gut. Yeah, I was trading my gut for sure when it came to profit taking. Yo, Prad, did you leave live trading? I stopped watching since you left. Yeah, they let me go on Trader TV Live. I don't work there anymore, so now I work at a different Day Trade the World office, and life has been better ever since, baby. Let's go. Life has been better ever since. Been learning from people who make money from trading and actually live off of trading, so it's great. Life's great. I know people drink, smoke, and gamble more in hard times. That's crazy to me if I think about it. You would think during hard times people should save more money, not be spending more money, not be drinking more money, but I guess during hard times they need to cope. And if people want to cope, where does money go? To the vices. So strip clubs, drugs, uh, gambling, alcohol. So yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, angry Buddha putting it in, put it because you get depressed, desperate, and depressed. Yeah. On Zim, we had Zim on our watch list, Momo, but we actually didn't trade Zim from last night. Yeah, over here we had Zim on our watch list, but was not really too interested in that position. Looks like it wasn't too much fun to trade. So let's take a look at Zim. I mean, there was a clear SSR bounce. It held the 52-week low, launched right back up to the north side, but it was, a little choppy. A little choppy. It's like if you waited for the right side of the V, sure. But why would have you known to have get long over here unless you were stuck to the tape or really looking for a reason to get long on this position? This is not some random technical level. It's just some random level where the stock decided to hold on the day on its move to the downside where some buyers showed up. So unless you were watching the tape or the level 2 and there was a clear indication of selling, stopping, and starting to go long, which obviously the tape can show you, the selling stops, you start seeing more mid prints, the stock starts printing more bids, higher bids, and higher bids. So there could have been clear indication, especially when this drop happens on the position and immediately gets bought back up on the 1 minute chart. So you can see it drops into 60.80. It looks like that's where the buyer is, in front of 60.80 or 60.82, and immediately it pops right back up and is not able to go back down. That could have been where you wanted to go long for a crazy SSR move, but you can see how exactly right near yesterday's VWAP, the stock finds trouble again and is not able to get back above it. So I mean, yeah, it gave you a monster risk to reward. If you were able to get long over here and even held it for, that's your risk, even held it for a little bit of a move somewhere up to here, let's say, that's about a 5R win for you on the long. I'm not going to deny it, but it's just I wasn't watching it. I think there were way better trades for me to keep an eye out for, and those I smacked them as much as I could. And for tomorrow, I don't think I'll be watching Zim tomorrow either. I mean, it's a $7 stock, did 10 million shares, good. It did do a lot of volume compared to its average volume. Average volume is around 4 million or something, and it did 10 million today. But I think tomorrow it will drop right back in terms of how much volume it might do. So I don't think I'll be too excited in the stock, but there could be another trade on there tomorrow. It's just not on our watch list. And talking about another stock over here that we're looking at for our viewer, it's going to be Carvana. Carvana, like I said, my man, it's been dying down on the volume end for quite a bit. It looks like it wants to, however, break out over here a little bit. The previous earnings report, that recent earnings report that came out on Carvana wasn't really too helpful. Some big seller right around these areas, because we did pop up, but we got stuff right back down and we closed right back under these areas. Looks like we could look for some selling on Carvana to come into play for a bigger move down for a possible break of these areas and go test for some supports down into 20s. So since you said you have puts, it looks good. But I would be worried if the stock does trade above 36.50. It's got a decent enough of a short flow. Its previous earnings report wasn't really that bad. I think the guidance, however, was lower if I remember correctly. I could be wrong on that. Do your research on it. But if the stock does trade above 36.50, above 37, I'd be a little worried on the puts over there for Carvana. But so far your trade does look good for tomorrow or for whenever your expiry is. The next few stocks that we have, we got quite a bunch of stocks over here lined up for tomorrow, but we're gonna go through some of these for you. Find maybe we'll actually go through the most of them and find the ones that have a play for us most likely. And looks like we found one already. It's going to be our friend Pan W. So Pan W with a nice little earnings move today, dropping a little bit lower. Finally, not really breaking higher and higher and higher. So looks like we can get some earnings trades on Pan W over here. Nice drop to the downside. Is that like a 10% drop? That's 11% drop, coming back to only ending 5% on the day negative, but could eventually drop back into 230 and give us more trades, maybe some longs over here, some pops into the north side and some shorts into some pops. So very, very excited to see what Pan W sets up like for tomorrow. We did bounce right off of 230, which is all the way down over here, and we're trading somewhere up over here. Jeez. So yeah, for any pops, we're looking for some good shorting opportunities on Pan W. Looks like even though the earnings report was positive, the market didn't really like what the report had to say. Maybe they guided a little bit lower on the earnings report, on the guidance over there. So let's go see what the guidance looks like. Bring in our trusty friend Benzinga. Stocks are trading lower after hours on Wednesday in sympathy with Palo Alto. Okay, what to know? Palo Alto posted first quarter earnings compared to estimates of revenue. Okay, so big beat on EPS. 1.88 billion versus 1.84. Big beat on revenue. Company also issued second quarter and full year 2024 guidance. Fiscal year release dragging down several. But why? But why? What the hell is the guidance? 13% increase on billings. Second quarter earnings from 1.2, 1.3 versus 1.25 estimate, so above estimate. 1.995, 1.98 to 1.97, so within range. Growth in billings, full year 5.4, 5.53, so higher. Maybe I'm not looking for shorts on pops on this position. 8.15 to 8.2 compared to estimate of 8.18. Jesus, stop it, Fred. Full year billings are expected to range from this to representing a year-over-year growth of 16 to 17%. Maybe because the stock has, gone up so far high, people are taking profits off these moves. I'm not sure how to really understand this, but so far, the way I see it, any dips into 230 should technically look for some longs, and this stock could easily just start moving right back up to the north side. I wouldn't be surprised by that. So I'm a little surprised by this move. The earnings report doesn't really scream too negative to me at all. I'll move that screen away for you guys. I know that screen's in your way, but looks like Pan W actually is a bullish enough of a catalyst, and the other stocks that might have moved down with Pan W's catalyst, CRWD, CrowdStrike, and what are the couple other stocks that moved down? CrowdStrike, Zscaler, Fortinet. Fortinet recently got hurt on their own earnings report, so we could possibly take a look at that one. So yeah, look at CrowdStrike, sold off, but then pop right back up. Possibly could look into this one for and reclaiming that sympathy trade move. Zscaler, I'm guessing, did something similar over here. FTNT dropped down but stayed down. Okay, FTNT, I like that. But yeah, I'm very surprised from what we just saw from our research. PanW was not that negative of an earnings report. So it did push down originally, but later on popping back up. I'll be interested to see what it looks like tomorrow going into pre-market. The next stock over here that we have is Cisco, CSCO. Cisco also dropping to the downside, dropping like it's hot, Also dropping to the downside on the earnings report, getting hurt sadly, not looking too good on the earnings report over here for Cisco, but we're gonna have to go read this one also. So let's quickly look at what that one looks like. Looks like a decent enough beat on EPS and an okay beat on revenue, but overall flushing to the downside. Now the question is that the stock CSCO guide lower by any chance? Saw a slowdown of new product orders, so a little bit of a negative catalyst right off the bat by opening up our Benzinga. This is what Benzinga looks like again for anyone who's new to the software. Saw a slowdown in new products in Q1. Expects Q2 revenue to come in at this much compared to estimate of 14.1. That's a big miss on estimate. Big miss on estimate. And revenue per share also decent miss on revenue, on earnings per share, sorry. And revenue was a decent enough miss on revenue too. Weak guidance overshadows top and bottom line beat on new product order slows. As new product order slows for Cisco. So Cisco getting beat down on this guidance report. Looks like we actually dropped into a solid Prastradamus levels. So now the question is, where does that level come from the past? Let's zoom out. Whoa, you're telling me we're all the way down there? Stop. Yikes. So yeah, big drop on Cisco, pretty much dropping exactly into our May 2023 levels. Now it looks like we could have a little bit deeper sell-off action coming into the stock for a swing trade. Maybe we actually drop into this $40 area after breaking 45. Does 45 even hold tomorrow is the question. So if 45 holds, maybe we got some longs over there to test some SSR longs on this position. I think we already are more than 10%. Yeah, more than 10% over here. Going to open into SSR. So possibly could look for some shorts on pops and some longs into 45 holding, but I wouldn't be looking for longs until the stock goes and tests the after hour low or the 45 area. Really, I'd be a little bit careful. Cisco, what a monster drop to the downside, man. Monster drop to the downside today on the earnings report. Poor stock. So can 45 hold? If so, can look for SSR longs here, but mainly looking for a pattern after the pop to short into. Couple stocks that are coming out with earnings tomorrow pre-market, ladies and gentlemen. We got Baba, Walmart, and a bunch of other stocks over here. Let me just show you what the earnings calendar looks like. So we got a bunch of other stocks that came out with the earnings reports at pre-market today. GAMB. You guys were talking about gambling, so maybe we quickly go take a look at what GAMB did. Nothing. So we'll move away from gambling. Show you what the earnings calendar looks like one more time. So Palo Alto, Cisco, both of which we just talked about. Baba, which is coming out tomorrow pre-market. Walmart, Macy's, all of which are pretty important stocks. Macy's has been beat down quite a bit recently, so we'll see if the earnings report can help them out. Walmart, which is I guess still near all-time highs. I haven't looked at Walmart for quite some time now, but yeah, if not still, it is at all-time highs, making a new all-time high today right before earnings day. So shout out to WMT over there. I guess a little bit of that move was piggybacking off of Target's earnings report that came out recently. So sympathy trade on Walmart right before its earnings report comes out. Oh, wrong chart, wrong page. This was the page I was trying to be on. And then obviously Alibaba, the Chinese sector, which had a monster move up to the north side today. FXI is something maybe I can show you to get you an overall idea of how the I was gonna say iChina. iShares China Large Cap ETF up 2.3%. So this is basically Pinduoduo, Baidu, Baba, JD, maybe even XPEV and some of the other stocks. XPEV, which had earnings report, also popping right back up to the north side. So a good little pump up, and we're looking to see if Baba can join that party tomorrow with its own earnings report. We also have JD over here to look out for. But what we really like to do for the earnings report that comes out tomorrow, instead of putting the levels out right now, I like to put the levels out tomorrow in pre-market after the report comes out, because any levels that we put in right now are kind of useless. They're kind of useless. Funny story, actually. One of my managers today was I think looking at, I forget what stock he was looking at. Let me quickly remember. I think it was Target. I think he was looking at Target, and he had some levels on Target probably from last night that he already had mapped out. And in the morning when we all came into the office and the manager was going over our morning watch list together, and he was talking about what levels he might be interested on Target. He wasn't complaining, right? I'm paraphrasing it when I say complaining, but he was like, oh man, I have to make new levels on Target. All the levels that I put in yesterday are kind of irrelevant now because the stock has moved up much higher. So things like that happens all the time when stocks come out earnings pre-market. So we could look at levels on Baba and everything, but what's going to be more helpful for us right now doing the research about is what times these stocks have earnings calls tomorrow. That way we can kind of stay away from these moves. We did that on TJX. TJX had an earnings call at 11 o'clock today. Let's go see if that one would have hurt us around 11 o'clock had we had not known that information. Now, I would not have done anything to you. Ooh, yeah, I would have not have done anything to you. But let's go do the research on these positions. Open up our incognito stream. That way we can quickly refresh a bunch of times on over here without having to get caught. Baba, calendar. That's not the right stock. Baba, no problem. 7:30 a.m. Walmart, calendar. 7 a.m. No, 8 a.m. Sounds like no problem. Should be fine with that one. Macy's. Really, I gotta type in the goddamn company's like name and I can't just put in this ticker? Come on, dude. What kind of useless is this? At least you give me the information that I want from you. Macy's, calendar. Macy's earnings call at 8 a.m. Also not a problem, looks like. And last but not least, Williams-Sonoma, a little bit more of a grandfather stock, a boomer stock over here. I'll probably get made fun of for even trading this position. And guess who's not going to be trading this position probably until 10 o'clock or so? It's going to be me, because this stock has a conference call at earnings call at 10 a.m. So maybe we get some fun moves in pre-market on this position, but I'll be careful positioning myself too heavy on a trade on Williams-Sonoma, because their earnings call obviously is coming out at 10 a.m. and hence doing this research helps us stay away from some of the damage as it has already done to us previously on this earnings season on two stocks, two different times. Okay, where are we going? Not all chat are friendly. Cisco is a power stock. It's average. Cisco is no power stock. It's average. Or are people fighting over Cisco? Let's take a look at this. I love watching people fighting over stuff. All the best, man. Hope you kill it. I hope I'm glad you found your channel randomly. Hey, let's go. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. I'm glad you found it too. That just means that my channel is being pushed. So let's go, baby. Pratt, not the first V, the second. So to me, I was comparing the higher low. I didn't get the 680 or whatever. I got 695. That's not bad. I don't think I would have touched Zim unless it touches 7 again or something. I don't think I would have looked at Zim, to be honest. There were way better day trades in my opinion, but also depends on, I guess, how much buying power you have and so on. So in that case, Zim was not a bad trade. I'm not going to deny that it was a bad trade or The fact that it wasn't worthy of looking at it, I just think there were other traits for myself to look at it in a longer, on a better time frame on a better volatility scale. I don't know. There were just better stocks for me to take a look at, Momo. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, the shorts were paying, so I had time to find anything on the long side. I guess you're talking on the futures. Yeah, fair. I understand that. Nvidia's earnings on the next major event coming up very soon. Next week, I think, Nvidia's earnings report. Disney getting a lot of interest. Is Disney finally turning up? Ooh, okay. You know what? I'll put down Disney in the list of stocks for us to take a look at. I actually did not think about having Disney in there, so I'll put Disney in there right now. Euthanasia is in here. Uh-oh. Euthanasia is in here. We know how much he likes TraderPrad, so can't wait to see him in the chat. Cisco is no power stock. It's average. I'm thinking you're talking shit about Cisco by saying that. I'm not sure. Roar, hoof, meow. What are you going on the animal sounds over here, my friend? Definitely watching Walmart and Baba. Yeah, Walmart Baba, no doubt. You should convince him to record himself doing his levels and vocalizing his thinking, of course. My manager, yeah, we do that every single morning. It's actually a great thing that we do at this new office. The old office wasn't really doing that as much, but the old office is doing that a little bit more now. Shout out to Wayne, young Wayner. DLB in the chat if he is in there. DLB at the chat. He's the assistant manager now, and he's been holding Monday morning, or not Monday morning. He's been holding everyday morning meetings on Discord where they all sit on a call together, talk to each other. I have access to that Discord server. I can still join those calls, but my floor is better than their floor, so I'm not gonna go to their calls anymore. I'm joking, DLB. I don't mean it. No, but you guys know my floor is better anyways, right? So I'm just gonna listen to my managers and see what they have to talk about. Williams Sonoma is a store for people with money that like to buy cookware. I think it's a boomer stock. It's a boomer stock. So might not be a lot of volatility in there, but we'll take a look at it. Good thing that we did the research on it. Earnings call at 10 a.m. for that stock tomorrow. Boomer stock can add up gains. That is true. I do like trading boomer stocks. I just get made fun of it a lot anytime I do. That's the problem. One of my manager loves making fun of me for trading boomer stocks. He calls me boomer stock trader pride for some reason or something like that. Well, it's not for some reason. There's a reason. It's because I just trade boomer stocks a lot. I find them cleaner than some of the more volatile stocks. And during earnings season, you have a lot of these boomer stocks that are actually moving because of a catalyst, and they're just cleaner. I just don't know how to trade properly, so I suck at trading them. But now that I know how to trade properly, I can trade these boomer stocks better and end up doing better on them. So that's the plan. Pratt, I brought up Disney in first message. I did not see that. I apologize. Got a swing trade going in Disney. Mouse, don't let me down. Mickey Mouse. Yeah, I gotta pray for that Mickey Mouse. Uncle Mickey, don't let me down, please. It doesn't let you down over there. Just gonna add Disney into my trade ideas watch list over here. Where should it be? Should it be right above? Yeah, right above there. Above UPST, I guess. But putting into my trade ideas watch list for myself to be ready for tomorrow. So earnings that came out this week that already moved around. Let's go take a quick little glance at some of these positions for us. Starting with Target, or should I say Target. Target with a monster move, and I was looking for a long on Target today. You see my line right there at 125, right? That 125 line on Target that comes from this June 23rd low. Is that 23rd? Yeah, June 2023 low. It came into play pre-market. We held that area pre-market beautifully right off the open. Gave you a chance to get long if you were already waiting there. If you weren't waiting there, no chance, no bueno. Because immediately the stock popped into 126, and the only place you could have built into a long was 126. I was praying and hoping and pleading to the market gods to give me a drop into 125 to get long for another chance, but they just did not give you that chance, and I missed a monster $5 run on target today. That was pretty upsetting to miss out. This would have been probably our best trade on the day today, missing out the long on 125. But now that we missed out that long, how can we rectify this trade and kind of maybe catch this move tomorrow? So clearly this 125 is a level. If we pull back to a longer time frame, that seems like a solid level that the stock is moving into, that 130 to 132 area. If for any reason we start breaking above 132, maybe there's some longs over there. With Walmart earnings reports coming out tomorrow pre-market, there's a good chance that Walmart gives a second day catalyst for target to get above 132 and start going into this 140 range area that we have mapped out, 138.50 to 140. So can Walmart give the stock's day 2 long a bigger boost via sympathy? Question mark. Can 125 should not come into play. Technically, 125 should not come into play. Maybe the 128 comes into play somewhere around this pre-market highs today for some support, or even somewhere around today's VWAP around 129 comes into play. We should hold off in these areas from 129 to 128. You should not see the stock trading below 128 and going to go test 125. It just doesn't make sense. If the buying and the catalyst is strong enough, and Walmart also is coming out with the positive catalyst. If Walmart is coming out with the negative catalyst, then obviously that makes a little bit more sense for the stock to trickle back down and test that 125. So expecting Walmart to come out with the positive report and expecting Target to already pull up into that 132 area that we have kind of just talked about. Pull up into that 130 to 132 area, break out of today's high near 132, and maybe have that room up to 140. So looking for that move. So can 128 to 129 hold? Is there a pattern for the 130 to 132 break long? If no pattern for break long, then see if stock can get above 130 and hold for a possible move into 140. All these long ideas only help if Walmart makes a move north. So that's for Target. Obviously JD, which is kind of like Baba, which is kind of like Walmart, which is kind of like Amazon, which is kind of like Target, but maybe not like Target, but you get the idea overall. JD, which has its own catalyst today, earnings report positive. Baba coming out with earnings report tomorrow. That could also give this stock day 2 trade same kind of sympathy trade. But JD has a little bit of a better price point for us to lean on. I think this 28 area could come into play very easily, and we could look for longs off of this 28 area tomorrow. So looking to see for any dips into 28. Can dips into 28 hold? If Baba earnings catalyst is strong, could see stock open higher. Maybe we see 30 level coming into play, and then we can possibly look for somewhere long after 30. Could see long 30. AAP, I don't think this one's that interesting, even though it had an earnings report. It brought in quite a bit of volume today, but wasn't really trading too. Maybe I'm wrong. It did give you a monster long, and then it sold off later on. I just wasn't too interested based on this move that it had in the pre-market off the earnings report. It looked a little bit weird for me. So I wasn't too excited on AAP for ourselves today. I don't think I will be excited on the stock tomorrow either. I think unless the stock, goes somewhere down over here, I wouldn't be too excited. I'll leave it on my watch list without any notes. Not really too excited look for a trade on that stock tomorrow. Home Depot, we talked about how we would love to look for a trade on Home Depot today, but we got too distracted, I guess, by HD. I also did not like how today's VWAP was right around yesterday's VWAP, and we were flatlining, just going sideways. Thought that the stock could easily just trade sideways all day, so did not look for the long overall. It wasn't really holding yesterday's VWAP cleanly. We opened up right into that area, right in that range, and looking for a long here before we even tested. Yesterday's high was kind of like stupid in my opinion. We weren't really looking to ramp up into yesterday's high, so a lot of reasons for me to stay away on the long, but I guess it made me miss out on some of the money. If the stock wasn't really flushing down, the earnings VWAP was catching up. The stock was clearly holding earnings VWAP, so there was a couple reasons to look for long off the earnings VWAP, but I was looking for long, I guess, off of yesterday's VWAP, and that really didn't help me to look for the long. I think tomorrow, however, if we do dip back into this 305 area, looking for longs on a hold of 305. Can 305 hold? If so, can look for longs on the hold. SE, I might have to put the stock on the back burner unless 40 comes into play, or 41 or something, because the stock is showing a lot of buying right now. We got back above this pre-market area, not that this level matters at all, but we got back into that pre-market low, earnings low on the pre-market catalyst. A lot of buying today, up 7%, so that's crazy. We did push into 40 and we sold off of 40, but I think the range for me is still up here that I have mapped out, and the stock actually showed a lot of selling where we got short yesterday. Holy shit, I'm dying, chat. I apologize. And so for me, I'm going to have to leave this one on the back burner. No notes means back burner. Nothing really to be too excited about on SE. You guys were talking about Disney. Wowza, Disney was a monster move today. What was the catalyst for this one? Okay. Gapped up, ran into previous levels. I mean, yeah, something clearly happened on Disney. So this 94 to 94.50 to 95 area on Disney, clearly pretty important. It was the previous gap down high, and now pulling right in this area. Disney could set up for either a good short or an even better long for tomorrow. Not sure what we do with this area, but Disney looks amazing. So look to see how stock reacts in the 94.50 to 95 area. Could get a backside short on failure to hold above this range, but successfully holding above here could give a long trade. No breakout. Okay, Upstart. Let's head on to Upstart. Obviously, Upstart had a monster trade today for us to help us out, but looks like it had a little bit of a nothing burger move at the end of the day. I mean, you would have loved to see the stock hold today's VWAP and go higher. Today's VWAP not really holding. The stock seems to have kind of muted itself in this area a little bit. Expecting the stock to maybe come back to 25 tomorrow and see what really it wants to do near 25. We'll keep this one on the radar. I think there might be a hidden long in Upstart if we do manage to hold this 25 range area tomorrow for a bigger move on the swing term scale into 30. But I'm not too confident on Upstart tomorrow, so we'll just keep it on watch. Can stock hold 25? Roku, obviously big monster move today. I think there could be another monster move tomorrow. We still got a lot of room to the upside into the $100 area. Would love to see what Roku does into a dip buy into today's low or into yesterday's high, right around 89 to 88 area. And I think that's where we kind of got long today. We got long right around this 88 area. Yesterday's close 88, today's low pretty much 88, 87.50. So I'm interested to see how this 87.50 to 88 area plays out on Roku if it does dip into that prices. Technically, in my opinion, it should not even do that. We should hold off somewhere in this 90 area. $90 should hold off, not go too much lower than 90, maybe 89.50, but 90 area should hold off, and Roku should manage to start having a bigger move up to the north side. So I'll be interested. I'm keen to see if the stock can hold and give us a playbook day 3 type of trade for us tomorrow. DraftKings had a little bit of a move up today, but not too much fun. We caught some long over here later on, but not look. The stock is dying down a little bit. Volume's going down. I guess it's picking back up, but it's going down. I think for now, DraftKings either shows me a little bit of building power in these areas for me to start looking for longs once again, but it's going to be in the back burner of plays. We'll keep an eye out for it to see what it might do. I think though, however, we're going to have to wait for this lower end of these ranges to come back into play on DraftKings. That could give you maybe some shorts, but the stock could easily find buyers somewhere in the middle of these ranges. At that point, is your short really worth it? Not really, because you were maybe expecting all the way to the downside of that range. So in my opinion, if you're a long-term trader, some of you are already talking about gambling becoming bigger as times are getting tougher. So if that's the opinion, people might want to be looking for some dips to buy into. So you don't really want to be shorting this. As a swing term bias, you don't want to be shorting this. So I'm going to be looking for some long opportunities once the stock does dip into 34.50. We're going to let it trade a little bit. We did pop up to 38, but immediate pop down to 36, sadly, and closing into the lower end of the day's range shows me that there could be some selling coming in, some profit taking coming in, and some buying later on. So let's just wait for DraftKings. I think Uber has to be a little bit in that same basket. Nice little inside day today. It could possibly break out of this inside day, which is basically yesterday's high or today's high, somewhere around $54. If we do manage to break out of 54, maybe there's some room to 56 on Uber, but not too excited to take that breakout right now. The QQQ basket, which I think is something that we can quickly talk about. We talked about this 388 area. The market did get above 388 in pre-market, but you saw how that trap came right in off that 830 number. 830 number came in, market being a little bit weak off of that. We did end green, but market being a little bit weak off that 830 number today. The PPI and the retail numbers overall. Overall though, I wouldn't count that as too bearish, but if the market can't get above 388 and hold above 388 for the QQQ, if the S&P 500 can't get back to 4550 and hold above 4550, I wouldn't be too interested to see some of these other growth stocks kind of make that run up. But talking about growth stocks and some of the other markets that might be interesting, look at IWM Russell. IWM Russell now had a big move to the north side today. Big move to the north side today on IWM Russell, but sold off quite a bit. However, we did able to, grab some longs based on IWM's move today. We caught that on DraftKings later on. We caught that on a couple other stocks later on. So looking at the overall market, I think that sell-off is pretty indicative that there could be some profit taking. People are not really getting ready to get longs into these prices. They're still waiting. People are using these pops to take profits, right? So if if new longs are not being built in and the pops are being used to take profits, then you want to be careful building into new longs, especially into stocks like Uber, Rivian, Roblox, Palantir, great example. So you want to be careful for looking for longs into any of these stocks unless they give you a beautiful dip opportunity, show you a good pattern to build into a long. And these kind of are not even day one, day two, day three plays because their earnings came out last week, a week ago, or a week before that. So these are like day 17, day 15 plays. So you want to be a little bit careful looking for the playbook that we've been talking about for the last few days. You want to be careful looking for those type of trades over here. So these will be in the back burner. However, Mara and Coinbase will not be on the back burner because these two stocks did move to the north side, I think today, or at least if they didn't, their spot market did. So Bitcoin shot up drastically to the north side, right into that 38,000 barrier, and sold off a little bit. And if you guys can see that anchored VWAP ever since Bitcoin made that breakout move, we've been respecting that anchored VWAP non-stop. The market has the stock or ETF or Bitcoin has been finding buying non-stop around these areas, which shows you a lot of programmed buying. This is programmed buying on the Bitcoin right now, pushing right back into a solid level into 38,000. So if Bitcoin is back into play, obviously that means Coinbase, Mara, Riot, all those fun stocks are coming back into play. Here you have Coinbase near $100, so we can possibly look for a play around there. Maybe some dip buys into 90, 95, and a breakout of 100 could be on the play for us. Mara is also interesting because recently had an earnings report. Didn't really give us a big trade off the earnings report, but we could find some possible trades over here. We need to see Mara holding 10 and getting above 1050 and holding above 1050 so we can get that move to 11. You can see how previously, before earnings, Mara struggled at 1050. On earnings day and after earnings day, struggled at 1050. Today, struggled at 1050. So we need to see this 1050 to 1070 area give up, meaning the seller to die out and the stock to finally get above 11 and hold above 11. I think that's technically the level you want to wait for now. If the stock can hold above 1050 to 11 and get above it, that's technically where you want to build into the longs on Mara. Can 1050 hold? If so, we can look for that longs into 11 and more. So coin, obviously 90, 9500, nice little $10 range over there for us to look at on what's going on Coinbase. And the overall big tech basket, we just talked about how all of these tech baskets are at beautiful prices. I mean, I think Apple at like, well, 190, almost at 190 today. 189.50 came into play. AMD 120 came into play multiple times today. You could have gone short off of that. Amazon still trading between great prices. Microsoft pretty much at all-time high, giving you amazing trading opportunities. So I mean, these are all just pick your poison type of opportunities. 500 on Nvidia also. If the market is breaking out, if QQQ is breaking out of 389, 388 area, you will see Nvidia near 500 and above 500. So you want to watch Nvidia every single day as we are getting closer and closer there. Tesla 250 coming back into play. Netflix pushing back into all-time highs over here. Sorry, 52-week lows, 52-week highs. I should not say all-time highs. The idea is, once again, if the market, if the S&P 500 and the QQQ can have some sort of another rally tomorrow, we could see all these stocks coming back into play for the long side. But if they don't have a rally tomorrow and we see a little bit of relief coming in on the market, you can look for shorts on these stocks as they are around all our beautiful levels for the day for us to take a look at. So I'm going to leave you guys with that on the overall basket of stocks, because I'm sure most of you already have levels mapped out on the big tech stocks. You don't need me to give you trades over there. The main trades that we love to look for are the ones that have catalyst tomorrow or have any reason for us to take a look at, and those are these stocks over here. You want to, you know, watch these stocks and how they trade tomorrow. These ones are for sure very much in play. Then you have a bunch of backup stocks for later on in the day to see how they're moving, if they're around some of your levels, if they're giving you a good little pattern to hold up and whatnot. And then you always have your big tech to look for to see what happens on if the overall market is giving you a play to lean on based on that. Hopefully those trades help you guys out for tomorrow's adventure on the stock market, ladies and gentlemen. Quickly heading into the next section of the show over here, which will be what is going on with the economic calendar tomorrow. We do have a little bit of fun on the economic calendar. 8:30, we got initial jobless claims along with the Philadelphia Fed manufacturing index number coming out. In Philadelphia Fed employment number coming out at 8:30. Is there any other crazy bombs that are dropping at 8:30, my friend? Looks like Fed member Waller is going to go on the mic at 9:25. Fed Governor Krosner is coming out at 10 o'clock. Fed Waller again at 10:30. Fed member Mester at 12. There's a lot of Feds coming out tomorrow, so be careful, obviously. A lot of Feds on the board. We got a bunch of 2-star events, but most importantly, the 8-star event, the 3-star event at 8:30 tomorrow, the initial jobless claim. So watch out to see how the market moves. That could set the tone for the downside or a bigger move to the north side on the market. But we also have Fed members coming out throughout the day. Thankfully, it's not Papa Powell coming out, so that's going to be a little bit of a relief, but we still have members of enough power, enough influence that are coming out on the mics tomorrow that could maybe move the market depending on what they say. So you want to be careful, obviously, around those market times. So that is the economic calendar for ourselves. I think the IPO calendar is still dead, or at least back to being dead. Nothing really going on right now in the IPO calendar for ourselves. That overall, ladies and gentlemen, was our stream on the day. Hopefully you found some trades for yourselves and we were able to find some opportunities, some good levels and whatnot. And the next part of the stream that we're going to go into will be looking at a YouTube video from SMB Capital. This one talks about how a trader well, maybe I'll dive deeper and give you a synopsis about this video so we can watch it together in a bit. But right now, let me take a look at the chat, see what the chat's talking about. Where's the chat? Where did I last leave you guys off at? Proud about Disney. As always, you're killing it, says Gustavo. Thank you, Gustavo. Random animal names were for your stream trading, Prad. Gotta keep you on your toes. What? What do you think on VRG and CNHI? Don't think they're worthy enough to be a day trade for tomorrow, so not gonna worry about them. Yeah, VRG does no volume, and CNHI. I remember talking about CNHI way back in the day when, well, at least looking at the stock when it was trading in the Milan market. Not sure if it still does that, but I remember looking at it back then. But yeah, not sure if these are worthy for a day trade, so not gonna take a look at it. Sorry, Michael. The earnings will probably confirm the increase in retail sales. Good point over there. Walmart retail, big retail company coming out with earnings report. But I think the retail numbers were good that came out recently. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Target looks overbought to me. I think Target was oversold. If you think what happened to Target on their own accord, big slap to their own market share. They did it to themselves, and now a little bit of a relief coming in for the north side on Target. One thing comes to mind with Walmart that the CEO made a comment a few weeks ago saying that diet drugs were cutting into groceries. Remember that? Just thinking out loud. Ooh, good point. Very good point. We'll see if the Ozempic drug is still causing issues with sales and whatnot with the Walmart. That's a very good point. Thank you, Josh. Yeah, sent Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and everybody to the downside. Big down move. What's with the Advanced Auto Part earnings? It was downside. I think it was flat / in line. They ended up going up, but we're down on the day. I think that's what happened. No trade for me on them tomorrow. I didn't find a trade on them for tomorrow. Blinzler was the FDA just subsued Eli Lilly a couple days ago. Eli Lilly, I mean, that stock's $500 a ticker, dude, or a share. Is anyone really going to be trading this stock? $500 a share. I can talk about it, but no one's going to be taking a look at it. Why the big drop on SE? Earnings, my friend. Earnings. It's the earnings season. Brad, I said it in my first message. Activist investors takes a stake in it. Ooh, activist investor, $100 to $125 stock, but I don't know what triggered today's buying frenzy. Activist investor, I think he was referring to the Telegraph. The grocery sales side of the Walmart are showing weakness for next earnings. Okay. Disney already has an activist investor, Pritzker. Not sure who that is, but okay. Probably what do you think about a PFE? I think absolute dog shit about PFE. Diet drugs been hot all summer. My girlfriend's been on them. Is it working for her? Are the diet drugs working for her? Is she losing a good amount of weight? Or let me know. I might need to start doing that Ozempic pill. Markets could get overbought and seeing a correction now. Yeah, we'll see if that can happen. That is a possibility. Not denying you on that statement, but we don't know the future. We don't know the future. Window dressing season will cause some stocks to rise up. Santa Claus rally coming up very soon, right? Santa Claus rally coming up very soon. Retail stocks making a comeback this week. Barron's futures. Yeah. Brad, which 3 Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin ETFs do you like? I don't think I have a specific one. I don't think I have a specific one. Anyone that moves and gives me a day trading opportunity, I like. I don't really have a specific one. Which stocks are you talking about when you're talking about Bitcoin? Coinbase and Mara. What about the S&B film? Yes, we're going to take a look at that just now, my friend. We're going to take a look at the S&B video in about 10 seconds, right after I read the rest of these messages. Thanks, Pratt. I killed RXRX today. I love it. I hate SoFi. It needs news. Yeah, SoFi, sadly. But what is RXRX? Recursion Pharmaceuticals. What did it do? Had a nice pop, an 11% pop on that stock today. And I'm guessing that you traded to the long side. Congratulations. Yeah, it looks like a good long if you were able to get in the right areas. If you were able to catch the $7 dip, or even if you catch the opening drive. Not sure how you were able to catch the opening drive, or why were you even looking at it. Maybe it had some volume pre-market. Doesn't really look like it did, but for some reason you were involved in it. You made some money, and that's what I like to see, baby. Let's go. I didn't look at Eli Lilly's share price. Oops. Yeah, that share price is a little pricey. Little pricey. PTSD. Check my comment out. I did that for you, my guy. Where you at? How come I don't see your comment? Tobias. I don't see your comment, G. Heavy load on SQQ for a week-long swing. You're thinking for sure for the QQQ basket. I don't hate the idea, but I don't love it either. I don't hate the idea, but I don't love it either. Like I said, today's pop was being used to sell quite a bit. A lot of people were taking profits into today's pop, so it makes sense to think for the short side. We are also into the 52-week high, so it makes sense. The market's been on a rally, big rally, so it makes sense. But market looks like it's getting ready to go to all-time highs, if you ask me. All right. Let's go into the next part over here, because I want to watch this video pretty badly before I call it a night. And I want to do it with you guys. So this is a video by S&B Capital. It's on their channel. I watched the first about minute and a half or so of it, where this trader talks about his first year as being a trader, and the losses that he took all year, how it's been affecting him mentally, how this once he was taking a walk after having a bad day and just thinking maybe this is the last straw for me as a trader. If you're a trader working at a prop firm, working with a bunch of other traders around you, you've had this day. And maybe even if you're not a trader sitting at a prop firm with a bunch of other traders around you, and you're a trader who sits at home and watches YouTube channels and whatnot to trade with, you still had this day too, where you feel like, man, is this the end of my trading career? Is this the end of my trading dream and goal and life? Does it end before it even starts? So those type of questions comes into play, and the only way you can kind of battle that is A, be a bitch and quit, or B, you fix the problems in that game plan. It's a business. Treat it like a business. Find out what's the issues are, fix those issues, and start making money the right way. Figure out how you can learn. Having a mentor helps. I'm very helpful to have a mentor, but a lot of you guys out there probably don't have a mentor who can help you. So channels like SMB Capital can help you out. I'm hoping to be a mentor for a lot of you guys eventually by putting my journey, my whole trading career on blast for you guys. All my bad days, all my good days, my trading day to day in front of you, for all of you guys to see, so you guys can learn from that as I am learning from it at the same time, and we can all get better together like a trading pod, like a trading community. So hopefully this video can help us all do that a little bit better. But for the sake of time, I'm going to put this video at playback speed of 1.5. So if you guys ever need me to stop or slow it down, just let me know. You planning for options expirations? I think there's a big one soon. Yeah, I think quad witching or something is coming up soon. So we'll see what happens. Big rebalance coming up soon.
So let's dive into some of these rules that have shaped my trading career. First, using the correct stop. When it comes to day trading, one of the cardinal rules is setting the correct stop. Think of it as your safety net, your insurance policy in case a trade goes south. But it's not just about randomly picking a number and hoping for the best. You got to be strategic about it. Day trading is all about precision and risk management, and setting the stop and accepting the risk to that stop is an essential piece of the puzzle. To give you an idea of how this works, let's take the example of a breakout from a bull flag, a classic scenario in trading. In such situations, you'll often find two critical places where you should consider setting your stop. The first option is to place your stop just below the breakout bar of that flag. This is the moment when the stock's price surpasses that resistance on increased volume, often signaling a potential upward move. By setting your stop below the breakout bar, you're protecting your capital in case the trade goes south quickly, and the breakout is then invalidated. The second option is to set your stop below the flag itself. The flag in this context represents a period of consolidation before the breakout. Placing your stop below the flag ensures that you're giving the trade a bit more room to breathe, allowing for some natural price fluctuations while the
Okay, I wasn't paying attention. I need to pull this back. I need to pull that back because this is a big problem for me, because my manager talks about this all the time. He talks about how some of my trades have very inappropriate, very stupid stops that doesn't make sense, because I might be stopping myself from losing a lot of money by having the inappropriate stop, but it doesn't make sense to stop myself out before I actually see what happens if the stock has the buying at that area or selling at said area. So for example, today for Roku, when I got long over here, my stop was around the low of this candle, because that's what the book talks about. I'm long around 89 on the hold of today's VWAP, and it talks about putting a stop near the recent lowest highest low. So that would have been this, not at the day's low. But my manager would have told me like, hey, this would have been your stop basically. So you're risking about 50 cents, not about 20 cents, or not 50 cents. That's about more than 50. That's like $1, $2 or whatever. So I'd be actually risking about a $2 over here to the downside, instead of actually risking only about a dollar or 50 cents or whatever on my original entry on Roku. And that's what this video's first rule is talking about: using the correct stops, not using stops, not using stops in general, but using the correct stops and understanding where you should be placing your stops that could help you open up your win rate a little bit, open up your chances of win rate. My manager talks about putting all this in like a spreadsheet and opening up the simulation. How many chances do you get stopped out if your stop was this, and it screws you over from a bigger win compared to if you had your stop in the right area. it opens up your win rate a little bit. It reduces your risk to reward, but it opens up the probability of the win. But it also requires you to enter the position accurately in the right area. It requires you to be able to size appropriately, so you're able to take the stop to the right spot where you need to be holding the stop to. So all those things come into factor when you're talking about taking a stop. So understanding where to put the stop will help you understand where to enter, will help you understand how much size to take into the trade. So this is a great rule number one that we're gonna dive into.
Using the correct stop. When it comes to day trading, one of the cardinal rules is setting the correct stop. Think of it as your safety net, your insurance policy in case a trade goes south. But it's not just about randomly picking a number and hoping for the best. You got to be strategic about it. Day trading is all about precision and risk management, and setting the stop and accepting the risk to that stop is an essential piece of the puzzle. To give you an idea of how this works, let's take the example of a breakout from a bull flag, a classic scenario in trading. In such situations, you'll often find two critical places where you should consider setting your stop. The first option is to place your stop just below the breakout bar of that flag. This is the moment when the stock's price surpasses that resistance on increased volume, often signaling a potential upward move. By setting your stop below the breakout bar, you're protecting your capital in case the trade goes south quickly. And the breakout is then invalidated. The second option is to set your stop below the flag itself. The flag in this context represents a period of consolidation before the breakout. Placing your stop below the flag ensures that you're giving the trade a bit more room to breathe, allowing for some natural price fluctuations while the breakout is confirmed. If the stock trades below the flag, well, you know you're wrong, and the idea of that bull flag is just invalidated. Now, the key logic here is simple. You want your stop to be positioned at a level where, if the price touches it, your initial trade idea is invalidated. This means that you're not just cutting your losses short, but also protecting your capital. And mental capital, which is fundamental in the world of day trading. Always accept the risk to where your idea is completely wrong. Now we'll talk about avoiding death.
So basically what we were just talking about, right? Understanding that placing a stop here would have helped me not only capture a bigger move of the win, because then I would have thought about, my risk to reward. My risk to reward, instead of being from here to here, which was a 2R, my risk to reward from here to here, which was 2R in my book, would not have been 2R. If I was risking all the way here, somewhere over here would have been 2R, and that's where my first exit should have been. And then my my second exit would have been somewhere down over here when the stock fails to go higher and higher and higher. So even though in my thumbnail that you guys are seeing today, where is it? Even though in my thumbnail it says, 6R long, technically it wasn't a 6R long, Prad, because your entry somewhere over here, your stop somewhere over here, and based on, where your profit should have been, it was a 6R trade if you captured the whole move. But because you kind of fudged the numbers a little bit, that ended up being a 6R trade for you on the way you traded it, right? So we kind of fudged the numbers up on that. It doesn't make us, it's not fair. So, kind of like clickbaiting you guys. It's not fair to do that. So very, very important idea, once again, that, appropriate stops is very, very much needed when it comes to trading.
1,000 cuts via what I came up with, the 3 strikes rule. This next concept is all about avoiding a painful situation known as death by 1,000 cuts. It's a vivid way of describing what happens when traders take too many small losses that add up over time, chipping away at their capital. This is where the 3 strikes rule comes into play. Picture like a baseball game. If you try a trade idea and you're in and out 3 times for a loss, it's time to step away. This might be a sign that you're not seeing the stock correctly or that it's not behaving as you expected. By stepping away, you're preventing further losses and giving yourself time to reassess and clear your head. So this is where that 3 strikes rule comes into play. This rule is your safety net in day trading as a new trader, and a great way to avoid that death by 1,000 cut situation.
I do that sometimes.
That prevents you from going too deep into the rabbit hole.
Sometimes.
We all have those moments.
Sometimes I go into the rabbit hole and then
even though the idea is not playing out as we expected.
I just non-stop keep on tilting and I keep trading that stock more than 3 times, but
it's a clear signal that either you're not reading the stock correctly.
That's also because
so you're limited to 3 trades for each.
I was very indisciplined before, but now I'm very disciplined, or better than I was before. So yeah, this 3-time strategy is pretty good. if your trading is clean, if your charts don't look like a goddamn Christmas tree just lighting up triangles everywhere, entry here, exit here, entry here, exit here, entry here, exit here, just lighting up like a goddamn Christmas tree. If it's not like that, if it's clean, one entry, one exit for a loser, or you know, a couple entries for a winner, couple entries for a loser, couple entries for a winner, and then holding it for the nice move and exiting. If your trading is clean, then you shouldn't really have to try a trade idea more than 2 times. If you're having to try a trade idea the third time, the chances are that trade idea doesn't necessarily work as well as it should. It might have worked, but not as well as it should have, right? In your opinion, where it should have gone. You were expecting this, but it didn't really go there. But it worked the third time for you. If it works the second time, probably shaking people out the first time, and the second time it worked out. But most of the time when you're in a good trade, it works right away for you. So that's a very good rule over there. No need to try something more than 3 times. If it's not working for you, run away from it. Just stay away from it. Also, you don't have the read. If you don't understand what you're doing, why keep trying?
Event strategies or setups on the fly. With that, 3 trades, 3 chances doesn't seem so harsh. So just like in baseball, 3 strikes and you're out of the game for that inning or trading session in that particular stock. Now we'll talk about trading midday. Trading midday is a common pitfall, especially for new traders. Between 12 and 2 p.m., the stock market is typically experiencing a notable slowdown in trading volume. It's like the calm before the storm, or rather, the storm's like halftime show. The midday lull is a phenomenon known to many traders, and it's crucial to understand why it's a common pitfall and why you should avoid it. Now here's the thing, institutions, often referred to as the big players or the big money in the market, tend to step away from their desk during midday. These institutions are the ones who make the waves in the market, the kind of waves that day traders like us love to ride. Picture yourself as a surfer on a giant wave. You want to ride the wave, but it needs to be a substantial one to give you that momentum. In the context of day trading, these waves are the significant price movements caused by the large players like funds and institutions. So why do institutions often stay away during midday? Well, they have their reasons, but typically during this time, they might be in meetings, working on models, or simply taking a break for lunch. This leaves the market with less action, less liquidity, and less significant price movements to capitalize on. In day trading, we thrive on these waves created by the institutions. These waves can be your ticket to profitable trades. When institutions make their moves, it creates volatility and opportunity for us day traders. And this is where the no trading midday rule comes into play. To get the most out of your day trading strategy, it's crucial to be in sync with these big players. They usually make their most significant moves during the first 2 hours and the last 2 hours of the trading day. These are the times when the markets offer the most liquidity, and that's precisely when you want to be in the game. The one exception to this rule would be a significant breaking news catalyst that forces these big players and institutions to trade. Next, we'll get into trading in the direction.
I mean, that's a pretty simple rule. Don't trade from noon times, which is basically called the algo hour, which is basically the time that Trader TV Live had me going live for, and pretending to know what I was doing, and without any proper education in the market and so on, which was kind of unfair to me. But I signed up for that deal myself because I want to be famous. Like a Doja Cat song goes, bitch, I want to be famous instead. I let all that get to my head, right? So I did. I let all that get to my head. I wanted to be famous instead. Here's my part 2 of that career of trying to be famous instead. But I'm also this time actually learning how to trade and actually getting better. So during obviously the Trader TV Live era, when we had to trade during the midday, it sucked, and we learned pretty quickly that you should not be trading during the midday. It does not make sense. That's the algo hour. A lot of losses can be occurred if you're tracking your trades every single day. Use software like TraderSync. Use code PRAD15 to get 15% off on TraderSync. It can clearly show you that some of your biggest losses on day probably are coming from the midday trading. So no reason trading during midday, especially if you're a beginner trader. Stay away from those time zones, and that's rule number 3.
Of VWAP.
Trading in the direction of the VWAP. We talk about this every single day to you guys. So trading rule number 4, trading in the direction of the VWAP. Basically, if the stock is holding above VWAP, you want to be looking for longs. And if the stock is holding below VWAP, you want to be looking for shorts. And that's not just holding above or below VWAP, it's also what's the curvature of the VWAP. Is VWAP curling up? Is VWAP curling down? Is VWAP just going sideways? You want to be looking at those important factors. And also, what is VWAP at the end of the day? VWAP is just the best average price of the stock for that time of the day based on all the information that it has for that day at that moment. According to that information, if the VWAP is curling higher or on an incline up, that's showing you that people are fighting for the price today. Bidders are stepping up. It's a good reflection of past, right? Of history. It's showing you that bidders are fighting and they want prices higher and higher. What was previously best price, let's say $45, yesterday's price is not today's price. What was $45 yesterday's best average price is now $50. $45 is now $50 best average price, right? So showing you that bidders are stepping it up and hedge funds are coming in, moving the market, moving the stock. So you want to be kind of, understanding those movements. So trading in the direction of the VWAP, pretty important. Shout out to the book from Brian Shannon, which has been completely modifying our trading. Our playbook is basically his book.
This in the world of day trading. It's like having a reliable GPS for the stock you're trading. VWAP helps us understand the average price of a stock over a specific time frame, taking into account the trading volume. So what's one of the rules that we can put into place to use VWAP to our advantage? Picture this scenario. You're contemplating a short position, or you're in a short position because the stock has been trading below VWAP during the first hour, and it has a negative catalyst, and it has an opening drive lower. But then something interesting happens. After 10:30, the stock reclaims VWAP. This is not just a random event. It's a strong signal that deserves your attention. So here's why it matters. When the bears were initially pushing the stock price below VWAP and holding it there, they seem to have the upper hand. But when the stock reclaims VWAP after 10:30, it's like a plot twist in a movie. The bulls step up to the plate and absorb that selling pressure, pushing the stock back above VWAP. This moment is more than just a mere blimp on the radar, it's a potential turning point. It's like the stock telling you, hey, something's changed here. This is when you need to be flexible with your strategy. It's a crucial moment for day traders. You have two choices. Either go with the new trend and flip, which now might be...
Also, like I said, the curvature, right? It was steeply down, but then it's not as steep down once the stock was going lower. If the stock wanted to go continue lower, it would have continuously been steep down. It started curving out a little bit. Bidders started coming higher and higher and higher. Now you're seeing it flatten out a bit. Over here, it should have rejected for another move down, but instead of rejecting, we're seeing it bid up, and now it's curving back up north. So buyers are back in control.
Be in favor of the bulls, or be prepared to abandon your initial short thesis. The key takeaway here is that VWAP is a dynamic indicator. It gives you insights into how the market perceives a stock's value during a specific time frame. Therefore, when a stock reclaims VWAP after 10:30, it's a sign that the balance of power might be shifting in the market. This is where your adaptability as a day trader comes into play. You need to be open to recognizing these turning points and be willing to adjust your strategy accordingly. After all, in day trading, it's not about being stubborn. It's about being smart and quickly adapting as new information comes in. Oftentimes, we're hopeful when we should be fearful, and we're fearful when we should be hopeful. So embrace VWAP as your trading companion. And after 10:30, pay close attention to those stocks.
That's well said. I am very fearful when I need to be hopeful. I take profits fearfully. I'm scared of a good trade, and I take money way too quickly. And then I'm hopeful when I need to be fearful because I'm holding a bad trade against me, and I'm usually averaging into a bad trade, hoping that it works out for me. And hope has no room in trading, right? You got to be hopeful when you're fearful and fearful when you're hopeful. So that's very well put over there.
Or fall below after holding up. That means that the stock is not as weak or strong as you thought, and you need to adjust. Next, we'll talk about something simple, setting price alerts.
Yeah, this is something that I'm pretty bad at. I'm doing it more and more. I'm using tools like Trade Ideas more and more to set up price alerts, using Trade Ideas to set up price alerts more and more. And that really helps you catch some of the trades that you were previously interested in at a certain price that you might have missed out because you weren't keeping an eye on it. So obviously price alerts help very much.
Ensure that you'll be notified as soon as the stock reaches that price point that you're watching. This allows you to react promptly, making informed decisions and adjust your strategy as needed. Incorporating these strategies into your day trading routine can significantly improve your chances of success and help you manage risk effectively. So many times developing traders will just move away from their original trade plans and switch their charts on their screen just because their game plan's not working out right away, only to come back to that chart later on to see that their trade played out exactly as expected. This is something that would always frustrate me, and it happened to me many, many times as a new trader. So really simple rule here. Always set alerts at key levels that would get you interested in a trade before moving on to a new ticker. Last rule, and maybe the most important, only trade stocks in play. So what
100%.
exactly are the right stocks to trade? Well,
100%.
S&B, we call them stocks in play. These are stocks that have a combination of specific characteristics, like a strong catalyst, news, technical, price related. They have high liquidity, a substantial price range or ATR, an RVOL of 3 or better. These characteristics make these stocks stand out as excellent choices for day traders. Let's dive.
So, I always talk about trading the stocks that are in play thanks to S&B Capital. It would not come without from S&B Capital. Why was I telling you guys to mainly focus on the list of stocks that are in this area right here? Because these stocks are in play. There's a reason to take a look at them. There's an actual catalyst, and their volume that they trade on a day-to-day basis is going to ramp up based on the catalyst that comes out. Obviously, not all the time they do that. Sometimes they don't move, they don't bring in that volume, and those stocks that you prepared for are not useful for you to take a look at it on that day. You move on, you go take a look at a different day. You don't try to force that trade. You're a day trader. You need high liquidity. You need, good liquidity to not lose a lot when you're wrong and be able to make a lot when you're right, because you're able to take a lot of size and be able to get out of that size within reasonable price and not hurt the market too much intraday. You won't be able to. You're a retail trader anyways, but that's the idea, right? So understanding why looking for stocks that are in play and how to spot stocks are in play is very important. That's part of the stream. That's why every single day at 8 o'clock at night Eastern Standard Time, I go live, try to find those stocks that are worthy to be talked about, to be worthy of being called in play. And then in the morning when I get to work, with the help of my manager, with the help of my coworkers, I find a couple other stocks that are in play and so on. And then we discuss it amongst each other, and then we find the right stocks to be involved in, and then everyone decides what to be involved in and not be involved in by their own accord at the end of the day. So this one, rule number 6, great rule, always hammered down by S&B Capital, taking a look at stocks that are in play.
Into the catalyst that could make a stock worth trading. These could be news catalysts like exceptional earnings reports or new product announcements, technical analysis catalysts such as a breakout, and price catalysts where stock significantly gaps up or down in the pre-market. These are things that get big money traders interested and can lead to substantial price movements. Next is liquidity. Liquidity is a game changer in day trading. It's all about how easily you can buy and sell a stock at your desired price. If you can't get in and out of a trade at the right prices, it can be a costly mistake. So it's crucial to ensure that the stock you're trading has good liquidity, allowing you to control risk effectively. Now we'll briefly discuss range. To make money as a day trader, you need stocks that move, and the average true range, or ATR, helps us gauge that. We look for stocks with an ATR of at least 1 because that means they move about $1 on average during a trading session. But we're not just looking for movement. We want a catalyst that's likely to make the stock move at least 2 ATRs during a trading session. That's what we call having the right range. You might be asking yourself, well, what about low floats? We found over the years
I need to look at ATR more.
For struggling day traders to focus on. They're complex, and you need to consider many different factors. Low floats are sort of in a league of their own. Finally, RVOL confirmation. So you found a stock with a catalyst, and it meets all the criteria we discussed. How do you know if it's truly in play? Well, that's where relative volume comes in, or RVOL. We look for stocks with an RVOL over 3. This means that the stock is trading at least 3 times its average daily volume, which tells us that market participants and big money are particularly interested in the stock that day. That increased volume leads to more significant price movements and better opportunities for us as day traders. In order to put on a trade, the stock must meet all of the criteria I just mentioned. If you're eager to dive in deeper into stocks in play and how to find them, I recently created an in-depth video discussing this very topic. You can watch it by clicking on the following link. In the video, I provide even more insights and practical tips to help you become a better trader, so make sure to check it out. With that, I wish you the best of luck in your trading endeavors. Keep learning, keep adapting, and happy trading.
Thanks, bud. You too.
Some of these rules.
So you're an active trader, not doing as well as you want, not doing as well as you deserve.
This is ad this whole time now.
And then them relaxing on some secluded beach for the rest of the day. And we're always looking for trading talent. A remote trader. Traders who fit our culture.
Yeah, this is an ad for the rest of the thing. I don't want to be known as that guy who just stole content and reacted, because I know there's a lot of that stuff going on. So obviously, guys, go check out S&B Capital. Going to post this video in the stream. They have a free webinar every single day or something like that. Go check out that webinar. I signed up to it once. I learned a bunch about it. I think it's like an hour or two long. You learn a bunch about it if you're a beginner trader. Obviously, if you haven't checked out this channel, you see how I'm subscribed to that channel. I should probably ring that notification bell too. But yeah, I'm subscribed to that channel. I learned a lot from that channel every single day.
So this was a
really
seven-figure day
quick.
for me, both with the
That's really loud.
Reading the tape is a powerful indicator for your trading. It's just a super
really
easy
quick. I want to watch
use
this.
the wrong way at the right time, or even the right way at the wrong time. Here's a quick guide to help use reading the tape the right way at the right time. So the best tape readers on our desk, they score the tape as they're reading it. You can see some specific examples of scores they give different kinds of tape. Here's where it gets super interesting. Most times in the market, most of the names will just trade between -5 and +5. Maybe -6 to +6 at best. We don't have edge in that situation. Where do we have edge reading the tape? Outside the lines. Tapes that are above +7 or below -7. Or tapes that
what does that
experience
mean
big
though?
swings like +6 to -8 for a breakdown or -4 to +9 for a breakout. These are where we read the tape. How are you reading the tape?
What does that mean? I have no clue what that means. So I guess he has some sort of a grading scale for when the stock moves into a level. I guess the way the stock moves into a level, and then when the stock gets into that level, they understand that as an opportunity zone, and the grading of that opportunity then triggers the need to study the tape. And then that's when you're looking for the signals in the tape, whereas the buying comes in, the selling sells off, and the reversal signal or whatever, those type of signals, I guess. But I'm not really sure how they're grading it. Something to learn more about there. And here's another video that I'm interested to watch. This simple setup made Lance Bertstein from a 10K trader to $1 million trader or something like that. This came out 6 days ago. This is about an hour podcast, so I'll probably watch this for the rest of my night as I'm finishing looking at my charting and looking at my levels over here. So for anyone who's interested in this stream, I'll also put this link out there for one of you, for you guys, whoever interested. Hopefully that link is populating in the chat. Yeah, feel free to hit the like and subscribe on Trader Lion. Not sure who this is, but interesting to go check out what this podcast is. And that will be what my night is consistent of, ladies and gentlemen. Because thankfully I walked my dog already today, so don't have to walk my dog. And yeah, I get to chill back, relax, look at the podcast or listen to the podcast while I'm finishing up my charting. We will be back tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching that video. I was my first time watching that video with you guys too, so it was good to watch a good little refresher on putting the correct stops, using the stocks that are in play. Damn it, I kind of forgot the rules already. Using the correct stops, trading the stocks that are in play. There were good rules though. What were they? What were they? Come on, let's try to remember it. Trading the stocks that are in play, using the correct stops. The three trading rule, where if you're wrong 3 times, you stop trading. We got 3 more. I'm forgetting. It might be the za. But hey, guys, you guys understand it. Hopefully, you guys got to learn. Oh yeah, a VWAP. VWAP was a good point. The 4th one, understanding VWAP is trading with the VWAP. And I don't think average true range was a point, but understanding the average true range and using that into some sort of a corporation. I don't think average true range was a specific point in its own, if I remember correctly. But it doesn't matter either or. Hopefully you guys got to learn something new from it. I got a good little refresher on most of the things that I already knew. It was always worth to get refreshers like that, reminders to help you put that thing back into your memory. Like I was saying earlier, be back again tomorrow for the last stream of the week, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time at night. For all of you who haven't already checked out my social media links right down below in the description. Also, along with my social media links are all my affiliate sponsors, Trade Ideas, TraderSync. Use code PRAD15 on both of those platforms, and also Benzinga. And actually, shout out to TraderSync. They have a Black Friday sale going on, so you can sign up for TraderSync right now, get 60% off, have your data tracked on there. Wait a minute. So you can actually use free trial on TraderSync, then use the Black Friday code to get 60% off for the first whatever, and then use my code PRAD15 to get 15% off for the rest of your period that you want to use it. So a nice little a deal over there for TraderSync for you guys to go check out if you guys are interested on that. I, however, will be calling it for the night. Good night. Thank you for hanging out for this hour and 2 hours almost. Wow, 2 hours. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great market day tomorrow.